Welcome to Exploring Creation with General Science Experiment 14.2, the vital capacity of your lungs. The procedure for this experiment is published in J. Wile's Exploring Creation with General Science 2nd edition, published in 2008 by Apologia Educational Ministries. And the purpose of this experiment is to determine the vital capacity of your lungs. That is, to determine how much air can be exhaled when you try to exhale as much as possible. The equipment and materials used in this experiment include flexible tubing, a plastic 1-gallon jug with a lid, either from water or from milk, but we do need a gallon jug and it needs to have a lid. A sink with a plug, or you can use a plastic dishpan such as this one, which I find actually most convenient. And a measuring cup, and I prefer a 4-cup measuring cup, but a 2-cup will also do. Step 1 of the procedure says fill the sink about halfway full of water and plug it so the water stays in the sink. And I've actually filled this bucket already half full with water. And you don't want to go more than half full because some water from the jug is going to end up in your sink or your bucket, and you don't want it to overflow. Step 3 tells us to close the jug and to invert it so the opening of the jug is completely underwater. Step 4, keeping the jug completely inverted and the opening of the jug underwater at all times, take the lid off the jug. Now, because the mouth of the jug is underwater, none of the water from the jug is going to escape into the bucket. But again, we have to keep that mouth under there. Step 5, keeping the jug completely inverted and the opening of the jug underwater at all times. Insert one end of the tubing so it goes into the jug and through the opening. Don't put the end of the tube too high in the jug. The opening of the tube should be just inside the jug. So I'm going to take this tubing and just insert it just into the jug. Okay, and I'm going to keep it steady with my finger there. You can see that I have it pinched between my pinky and my ring finger. Now, step 6 says take the deepest breath you can and blow into the tubing. Blow in one continuous breath without pausing to breathe air again. Blow until there is no air left to blow. As you blow, the air will travel into the jug, displacing the water. The more you blow, the less water will be in the jug. If you're reasonably athletic or large, you might blow all the water out of the jug. Most students will not, however. And then once I've done that, I'm going to put the lid back on the jug while the jug is inverted and the opening is still underwater. So let's go ahead and get that done right now. So I'm going to take a deep breath and blow everything possible out that I can. Ready? Whew, that's all I got. Definitely not athletic. Okay, so I'm going to, as in step 8 says, I'm going to take that tube out and I'm going to put that lid back on the jug. And the reason we want to do that is we want to capture whatever water is left in the jug, because all the air that we've just put in there is going to be a measure of our vital capacity of our lungs. Step 9 says remove the jug from the water. Remember, make sure your lid is on first. Turn it right side up and then take off the lid. So basically all that is left of the water is this, and all this air just came out of my lungs, which is going to be the measure of the vital capacity of my lungs. Okay? Step 10 tells us to pour what water is left into the measuring cup, trying to fill the measuring cup to exactly 1 cup. And so if you have a smaller measuring cup with lots of water, then you're going to have to do that multiple times. But because I have a 4-cup measuring cup, it definitely won't take us that amount of effort to do. Wow. Okay. So I have now reached the 4-cup mark here. And remember to read that at the bottom of the meniscus and have your cup set level on the table. So you're taking an accurate measurement there. So that is 4 cups there. And I'm going to now dump that out. And you can dump that into the sink. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and pour what is left into the jug. And at this point, you can see that I have less than a cup left, so it's really hard to get an accurate measurement. So I'm going to pause and get a smaller measuring cup so I can really accurately measure that. Okay, so I'm just transferring, because this doesn't give us a good accurate measurement under 1 cup, I'm transferring the contents of what was left over into a 1-cup measuring cup. And we are just barely at under a 1/4 of a cup. But we're going to go ahead and round it to the nearest 1/4 there because that is the degree of accuracy of our measuring cup here. Okay, so now we need to do a calculation. Step 12 tells us there are 16 cups in a gallon. So we started with 1 gallon or 16 cups of water, H2O. Let me make that O a little bit bigger, in our gallon jug. Okay? Now, after we breathed out all the air that we could in our lungs, we had how much water left, or I had how much water left? I had 4 1/4 cup of water left, or remaining. Okay, so how much water left the gallon jug? How much water was displaced out of the gallon jug? And that, of course, gives us 11 3/4 cup. Okay, so that means 11 3/4 cups of water was displaced. And what was it displaced by? Air. And where did that air come from? It came from my lungs. So that means that the vital capacity of my lungs is 11 3/4 cup. Now, step 12 says, please note this does not measure the total amount of air in your lungs because even after you exhale as much as possible, there's still a significant amount of residual air left in the lungs. And of course, step 13 says clean everything up, which I know that you always do in your laboratory. And that brings us to the end of experiment 14.2. Thank you so much for joining me in the lab today, and I'll see you next time.